Today I'm going to speak about Henry James and one of his best known works, The Portrait of a Lady. Now, Henry James is considered a pioneering figure in psychological realism, which is a highly character-driven literary genre. It focuses on the motivations, the aspirations, the internal thoughts, much like stream of consciousness, and the experiences of the main character or the protagonist. It came into prominence in the 19th century with writers like George Eliot, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Henry James himself. Some of the best known works in this genre are Crime and Punishment, written by Fyodor Dostoevsky, which focuses on the motivations behind crime. It is a psychological masterpiece, really, because of that. And also, one of the major themes of this book is what the conditions poverty reduces us to. There are many examples. The main character, Raskolnikov, he murders because of his conditions, his circumstances. So, next up is, Jane Eyre. Again, it has been discussed again. It is in almost every curriculum, but I believe that it does fall under the category of psychological realism because it is a very character-driven book, and it focuses on the motivations, the desires, the thoughts of Jane, her experiences as a governess, as an orphan, and finally as someone who has accomplished her desires, who has fulfilled them. Okay, and now, Portrait of a Lady. Henry James drew a lot of inspiration from George Eliot. Many parallels can be drawn between Middlemarch and Portrait of a Lady. For example, the main characters, the protagonists, Dorothea Brooks and Isabel Archer. Now, they're both very beautiful, intelligent women, very independent and morally strong, but also naive. And that is their fatal flaw, isn't it? In a way, they both have miserable marriages because of many factors. But one thing that I found that we could use here, a quote from Proust: they both create a third, a supplementary person, distinct from the person whom the world knows by the same name. A person most of whose constituent elements are derived from them, Dorothea and Isabel. For example, Isabel, she creates an illusory picture of Gilbert Osmond, and Dorothea, she marries Edward Casaubon. Her decision is driven by a desire to be taught by him, to be better educated. She couldn't do it alone because that would be frowned upon. So she married a man whom she hoped to be educated from. Now, while Dorothea does get a happier ending, Isabel stays in her miserable marriage by choosing social custom over her individualism. Also, Isabel okay, just a second. Also, what James does here, what makes Henry James one of the great psychological realists, is his ability to convey a very abstract philosophical message, which is the conflict between the individual and the society. It's so abstract and so philosophical, but his ability to do so and somehow pass it off as a natural struggle of a person, of a human being, is astounding. He does so it's meant, this is done in part by bringing in Dorothea's backstory, her education, how she was mostly neglected by her father, how she had a haphazard education and no permanent home. So this is a longing for stability, for security, that is one of the factors behind her marriage to Gilbert, even if this means a loss of independence. So this is it for today. I hope you liked the lecture.